Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be working solely on the hamstrings. So our hamstrings are strong bonds of tissue, so tendons that run down the back of the thigh. So we also refer to the hamstrings as three muscles that run down the back of the thigh. So our biceps femoris, our semitendinous and our semimembranous. If you're someone who is a runner, a cyclist, perhaps you sit down all day, you might feel that you have quite tight hamstrings in particular. This is a common ailment that I often hear from my students, and if so, you're going to love this one. So we're going to be working solely on the hamstrings, a little bit into the hips, a little bit elsewhere in the body, but mainly on the hamstrings. So in your own time, come to the top of the mat. We'll be starting in a ragdoll when you get there. So coming into a ragdoll at the top of your mat. So feet are hip distance, we're holding on to each elbow, and then you can take a little micro or macro bend in the knees. So just hanging out here, starting to gently open up through the backs of the legs and through the hamstrings. Option here to bring a little bit of movement into the posture. So pouring the weight into both feet, moving from side to side, little wiggle in the hips, and then slowly allow the fingertips to fall to the ground. From here, we'll start to brush the fingertips from side to side as we move. So finding some fluidity in our ragdoll, letting the head hang heavy, and just brushing the ground as we work into the right side of the body and the left side. Good, come back to center, and then option here to interlace the fingers behind the back of the head. So behind the back, just interlacing the fingers together and stretching open between the shoulder blades. You might want to take a little shake again of the head, just allowing any tension in the neck and the jaw to slowly release. And then we'll take 3 cleansing breaths here. So a big breath in through the nose, inhale. And then exhale, a clearing breath out of the mouth. 2 more times. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, big clearing breath out. 1 more, inhale. And exhale through the mouth, let it go. Slowly allow the fingertips to come all the way down onto your mat. And then from here, we'll step the left foot back. So we're going to come into a low lunge. Option here to use blocks. I really like using blocks in this one, but if you have a bit more flexibility, you're welcome to take them to the ground. And then inhale, puff up your chest, shoulders are drawing back. From here, we're going to slide the right hip back and find our half splits. Again, you might stay with the hands on blocks. Inhale, we're going to shift our weight forward, slow lunge. Exhale, half splits. And then if you like, you can add in an arm variation. So inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, aeroplane wings. Lovely, 2 more. So moving with your breath now, taking your variation. And then when you come into your next half split, just take your hands to your blocks or to the ground. And then we're going to stay here for about 5 deep breaths. So flexing the right toes towards us, drawing this right hip back in its socket. And then inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then exhale, start to hinge from the hips and forward fold over the right leg. So working deeply into the back of the right hamstring. The back of the right leg. So working into those 3 hamstring muscles and the tendons that run down the back of the leg. Lovely, taking 2 more deep breaths. Perhaps finding a bit more space. And then slowly shifting our weight forwards, pressing firmly into both palms. And then we'll lift the right leg all the way up and back, coming into 3-legged dog. So extending through the right toes, pressing through the mat. So pressing the mat away and lengthening through our spine. Slowly from here, we'll start to walk our hands all the way to the back of the mat, and we're going to draw the right knee to the left. So we're going to come into a flamingo pose at the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold over the left leg. So now we're kind of moving the stretch into the left leg now, opening up through the left hamstring. But you also might feel it in the back of the left calf here. 2 more deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. 1 more inhale. Exhale, finding more space. Slowly walking our hands forwards, placing the right foot down and finding our first downward facing dog. So just walking out your down dog, you might notice quite a big difference between the right leg and the left. So just observing that, and then finding some stillness in our downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance, hands are shoulder distance, and we're lengthening through the spine. So if you need a little bend in the knees, absolutely fine. From here, we'll gaze forwards and we'll step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, the left foot to the outside of the left hand, and we'll lower the hips down, finding a yogi squat. So just lifting the chest, perhaps again moving and finding some flow, some fluidity, just moving into both feet from side to side, and then find some stillness here. Come back to your yogic breath, your full belly breathing. Option to close down the eyes. And then slowly, when you're ready, gently forward fold, coming back into your forward fold at the top of the mat. This time we're going to take the peace fingers around the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, and take the elbows out to each side of the mat. Little bend in the knees so that there's contact with your chest and the tops of the thighs. So Padangusthasana, and we're pulling on the toes here. So using our pulling sensation to deepen the pose. So don't be afraid to pull on the toes to help lengthen through the back and send the hip bones up towards the sky. So sending the sit bones up towards the sky. And again, if you want to shake your head, release any tension in the jaw, feel free. You can also blubber the lips. Inhale, exhale. Slowly from here, taking your hands down, releasing the grip, and we'll send our right leg to the back of the mat. So finding our low level lunge again, puffing up the chest. I quite like to keep the back toes tucked. And then we'll flow between our low lunge and our half splits. So exhale to our half splits, option to take hands on blocks. Inhale, low lunge, with or without the arm variations. So moving with your breath, inhale, exhale. 3 more. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, forward fold. And then when you next find your half splits, we will hold. Option to take the hands on blocks. I really like to take hands on blocks either side of the knee here, especially when you are newer to the practice or you have particularly tight hamstrings. So start to get quite curious and start to learn about your unique bodies. If you know that hamstrings are a problem for you, then I have a couple of videos on hamstrings, so you might want to try those. I'll link those down below, and feel free to come back to this video and keep practicing it to gently work on that area. Lovely. Another deep breath here. Inhale and exhale, soften. Shift your weight forwards, Plant into both hands and sweep this left leg up and back, all the way back, extending through the left toes. And then slowly we'll start to walk our hands to the back of the mat as we draw our left knee to the right. So flamingo at the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold over the right leg. So again, moving the stretch into the right side now. Letting the head hang heavy. Slow breath in. Even slower breath out. Gently finding space with every breath. And then from here, we'll walk our hands forwards again. And we'll gently place the left foot down, finding our downward facing dog. Now you should feel a bit more even between both sides. So gently pressing the heels down and opening up through the spine, through the back, lengthening through the back, but also lengthening through the back of the legs. You should feel quite a substantial difference in your down dog now that we've done all of that hamstring work. From here, we'll gaze forwards, we'll step or float, and we'll take the legs out in front. You can sit on a pillow or a rolled up blanket to shift your hips forwards if that helps you. Otherwise, we're going to reach the arms up above our head, and then exhale, we're going to forward fold over the legs, coming into our final hamstring stretch, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold in. You might have a micro bend just like me, or you might have the legs straight. So taking hold of what you can, ankles, calves, all sides of the feet. Again, with every inhale, we lengthen, and with every exhale, we fold even deeper. One more deep breath here, inhale, and exhale. Slowly taking the hands behind us, we'll press into both feet and we'll come into a reverse tabletop. So just counteracting that pose, that forward fold, just opening up, taking a little back bend, opening up through the hip flexors, and then slowly lowering your hips down, taking a big hug of your knees, thanking yourself for your practice, for showing up and showing your hamstrings a little love today. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed that practice, please do comment below. I love hearing from you, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.